Welcome to another episode of Zero Credibility Sports. Again, we don't have Justin by our side, but it's okay. Just me and Harry, just like the old days, in the gym. But I'm no longer in the gym. We're in different places.
Yeah.
Same faces. All right, we're gonna talk about the NBA. All right, and this episode is gonna call "I Don't Owe Anybody Shit." Quote by
right.
We'll get.
Is that what he said? Okay.
Yeah. The last episode, I was calling it. Oh fuck! I forgot what I was gonna call it. Anyways, we're gonna talk about basketball. We're gonna talk about Lakers' wasted season. Before today, the Lakers were 5.5 games back from the 8th spot, away from the 8th spot. Now they don't even look like they'll make the playoffs because today they lost to the Denver Nuggets. So I assume they're probably 5.5 games or maybe.
So they are now. If that's the case, then they are 6.5 games. 6.5 games.
Boom! And now there's only 17 games left.
Yeah, 6.5 games with 17 games left. Yeah, so it's almost impossible.
Almost impossible.
Yeah,
it's a funny team, don't you think? They could lose to the Pelicans without AD, but beat the Pelicans with AD. Lose to the Phoenix Suns. Yep. Lose to the Clippers twice.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what are the reasons? So obviously, I did from following them. I thought of what the press have been saying. The press have been saying, well, Lakers never really got to play with a settled team because, players got injured here and there. I mean, this is still I like to think the team had enough quality to get through. So let's talk about injuries real quick. LBJ strained his groin, missed out on almost
20
games. 18 games,
18.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, 18 games. They went on a run for I think 4 wins, something redonkulous. 4 wins out of those 18 games, 5 maybe.
No, a bit more than that. I think 6 and 12.
6 and 12.
Yeah, wasn't great, but it wasn't a disaster. Yeah.
Lonzo Ball played only I think 40 plus games this whole season. Mm-hmm. Brandon Ingram's been injured his shoulder, injured his ankle and his fist from punching CP3, which resulted in a 10-game suspension.
I don't think it was 10. I think it was 4. We wanted it to be 10.
Yeah, it ended up to be 10, I think. Right? Okay, I'm wrong. But
it was 4.
Yeah. 4. Yeah. It was supposed to be 10, but then they...
No. It was never supposed to be 10. Okay, we wanted it to be 10.
Just make it sure. No, yeah. Rondo was...
I think it was 3 or 2.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Brandon Ingram got the longest ban because he did a sucker punch, right?
Yeah, he escalated it.
True. And Rajon Rondo hurt his hand twice. One was his finger, and one he actually broke his hand. So the team, okay, that's one potential reason. I'm not saying it is the main reason. Maybe
I grant you that. Yeah. Sorry, just for the injuries, I think. Look, every team has injuries, but I do think that Lakers had more of the injury bug. I don't think it was catastrophic.
Kind of thing.
Well, I don't think 18 games. Look, Steph Curry missed 15 games as well. Now they had more. They had more to cover. Yes, that's true. But I think 18 games out of however many they've played. How many have they played? They've played 65.
Yeah.
Giannis might have missed 6 or 7 games. It's a bit more than what you would expect. But I don't think that's they've been so unlucky with injuries. But they have more.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you there.
Yeah.
I think the shootings have been poor. I think before the last game, I think the percentage I've wrote down, KCP is 34%, the highest. Josh Hart at 33.5, Ingram at 33.
Are you talking about 3-pointer? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, 3-pointer.
But wouldn't LeBron, he's shooting 35, 36?
Yeah, but shouldn't he not be the best shooter?
No, you're right.
Around him?
Yeah.
I think that was probably expected of them at least because they would have a lot more open looks.
Let me ask you, who do you blame for that? Do you blame anyone?
No, I'm about to get to that. That's the second reason I found from reading all the news. Yeah. And then there's Luke.
No, you can't really blame injuries, right? I guess you can blame. You can blame Rondo and Ingram for being.
How can you not blame injuries, but you were blaming Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for the injuries?
No. No, I wasn't. I wasn't blaming him for the injuries.
Oh, then okay. But
I was blaming him for playing someone who was just recovering from an injury in the first half when you've already down a substitution.
Okay. Then can't you blame Luke Walton for not managing their minutes well?
Well, I don't know if they're sort of injured from wear and tear so much as it was just a freak here or there. Like, injuries do happen, but injuries, for example, like LeBron didn't get injured because he was playing too many minutes. Like, I can't put it on.
Okay, but LeBron recently restrained his groin.
When did that happen?
No, in the last game.
He didn't miss any time.
If you watch the game against Clippers, he had to sit out for a bit because of the groin.
Okay, but he didn't miss any games, though, right? And by the way...
it impacted the game.
Okay, and also, if we're going to do this, then we don't think... Like, LeBron's always the coach, so shouldn't we blame him? No, I'm serious. Like, if we never give credit... we always blame the coach, the actual coach, when things go wrong. And when things go right, we sort of never credit the coach. We always credit the LeBron. So we can't have it both ways, right?
I credit coach. But okay, can I finish all the points that I found that I wrote down?
Okay. All right, let's do that. And then we'll go point by point. Yeah.
Yeah, then we go with what you think and what I think.
Yeah.
So then they were blaming Luke Walton for being a poor coach. I think that's enough. That's enough of a point that we can break down later. Poor trades. People are blaming the Lakers for trading away Zubac to the Clippers. I want to know what your take on that. I don't really personally have an opinion because I don't know too much about his impact or how how important he actually is. Okay. But you can shed some light on that. And the trade that never happened, trying to trade for AD and not achieving it.
Yep.
And potentially hurting the chemistry of the team. I like to think that's a full show. That's what happened. Because now there's a lot of news coming out of the Lakers camp that LeBron James essentially killed the locker room vibe or the locker room chemistry between the team members. Because you can't look at him the same, right? You can't look at the guy the same who tried to just get rid of all of you, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's human nature.
All right, let's start from the start. I think.
By the way, I think that's pretty comprehensive. I would say, and again, I haven't watched I'm certainly not an expert on this. I haven't watched every game, but I think defense is also a big factor on why they are underachieving or why they are where they are. So, but you pretty much covered all of it. So we can just go take it from the start or take it one by one.
I'll lead, and then you.
Yeah, sure.
We'll start with the injuries because we already got we kind of talked quite a bit about it. Why don't you close it off? Like you said, injuries, sometimes you can't really you can't really plan for a lot of these injuries. But I like to think managing minutes are an important factor. And remember Luke Walton at the start was saying, and Magic was saying that they're going to try, limit LeBron minutes so he's fresher for the postseason. That happened at the start, and then when shit hit the fan, they were like, you know what, let's play LeBron for 41 minutes because that seems like to be the only reason or the only way that we could win games. And so they got into this injury ravaged season.
Well, so just to make it spicy, who do you hold responsible, or which parties do you hold responsible, or do you hold mostly responsible? The
coaching staff, which I think is Luke Walton. Luke Walton, or I think you're gonna go. You have to blame LeBron, man. He's the coach.
Well, first of all, I disagree.
Okay, I blame whoever set the minutes for these players. And if you say if it actually is LeBron, then it's LeBron.
Well, who do you believe sets the minutes for LeBron?
I think LeBron does.
Before, let's just say LeBron's playing minutes.
Both Luke Walton and LeBron.
You didn't say Luke in the first question, and how come his answer
Luke
came in the second?
Luke Walton's
oh my gosh,
coach. He's supposed but you know what I mean. You kind of have to blame him for not taking the executive order as what a coach should have, that responsibility that a coach should have to say, no, bro, you're playing too many minutes. But if anything, don't you blame Luke Walton at all, or you just?
Well, I disagree with the premise that you have to blame someone for injuries in this sense. I look the injuries that I like Lonzo Ball and Rondo, like when he fractures his hand, is that from wear and tear? Is that from playing too many minutes? No, I don't think so. I don't think the groin popped. That happened in the third quarter. It wasn't like he was. I'm talking about LeBron on Christmas Day. That wasn't because of wear and tear. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't think it was. And whatever other injuries like Lonzo Ball and whoever else,
Ingram.
shoulder. Was it Ingram? Kuzma, remember, tweaked a knee or ankle. Is that from wear and tear? I can't say yes or no, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's because of fatigue. I just think that this happened. It happened a bit more to the Lakers, I grant you. And I think what really took the chemistry was the fight that happened on the second game, right? Where, Rondo got suspended and then he got injured right after. Do you remember that? And
he got injured. He came back and he got injured straight away.
Okay, so that was chemistry issues, continuity, especially if he's going to be the point guard. And Ingram also didn't get off, he had to sit out 4 games. And especially when it's a new team, the first few games are really critical because you need to sort of learn on the fly. And they didn't really get to do that until, really 20 games.
That stretch when they won like 11 straight or something.
Yeah, and you could see that there was continuity. And because like you could have had that in the first few games, but because they got involved, and you have to only blame Rondo and Ingram, right? Like you blame Ingram, and I would also blame Rondo for his sort of attempted sort of split.
Playing possum.
Yeah, or whatever. So I would say these two. And now we talk about missed games, but most of the missed games are injuries, but some of the missed games are due to suspension too. So I wouldn't put the blame on either LeBron or the coaching staff because I don't think these injuries are really the result of wear and tear. So that's my take on the first aspect. Now, or do you have anything?
I don't really blame. I think the only thing I kind of didn't like was that LeBron had to play 40 minutes. Like I would like to think that at this stage of his career, they should be managing his minutes a bit smarter. Like, but maybe the team's not good enough. Maybe it just is, because
okay, that is true. That probably is true. But I would say that with LeBron, with other people, then I would say it's different. But with LeBron, that's on him. I just don't think it's Luke Walton's call. Or maybe he can have a suggestion, but LeBron
then we might as well not have Luke Walton there, right? We might as well just vacate that spot.
Well, one, I'm not sure. I think it's outlawed now, player coach. I'm not sure, but I think it's outlawed. And 2, you can't have a player coach. It's just too much
to do.
Too much responsibility. Too much responsibility. You do need a coach to actually take a lot of the inputs and design game plans and so forth. Obviously, LeBron has not final say, but he has the ultimate say because he's the player on the court, right? He gets to decide on the fly when he's got the ball in his hands, especially at crunch time. But like his perfect guy is Tyronn Lue, who will listen to what he says, but he also obviously will work to come up with a game plan where LeBron just can't do that. He needs to practice. He needs to do other things. He's in Hollywood now, right? He's
focused on Space Jam 2.
Well, look, I'm not kidding when I say this. I think a lot of the focus, not a lot, but some of the focus has been taken away from other stuff.
Definitely. No,
if not
agreed.
actual, but at least the perception of it to his teammates, that he's focused on other things. Is recording the shop, is
he just executively produced 2 Chainz's latest album.
Well, great album, by the way. This was during the season that obviously he had to record. Now, obviously players have downtime too, but even if just the perception that for the teammates to say, hey, listen, this guy has got one shoe in his in his next career, then that has a detrimental effect on the team. Right?
I think there's more to it than that. Look at what he's been doing on the GM side. But anyways, let's move on. Like,
I'm saying that's a factor as well. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, okay. I agree. I fully agree with you. Yeah. So what do you think? What's your take on the poor shooting from everyone else except LeBron?
Well, let me ask you: who do you hold responsible? Who? Not to say we need to find a scapegoat, but we need to find the cause of this. In
The
other words,
players. I think the players, right? It's definitely the players.
well, okay, sure. Obviously, it's the players. Obviously, everything's the players, right? But
Yeah.
who do you find ultimately or mostly responsible, or who?
Push.
Or yeah, like
Luke Walton.
You think so?
Who would you go? I mean, that's my answer. Yeah, because
Magic Johnson, LeBron James.
Why
Rob
Magic
Pelinka?
Johnson?
Because he's the GM. Oh, he's the president of basketball operations. He's the one who signs the players.
So you mean the players are bad?
Well, he didn't sign enough shooters.
Okay.
Now, so it's
no, but I'm
guess,
just talking about why the players that they have are shooting poor. So you're saying that they're shooting.
They weren't good to begin with. They weren't great to begin with. It wasn't me, but people have said when they were signing, when James got there and they signed all these players like Stevenson and
where the
Beasley.
shooters?
You need shooters.
Yeah.
Like
True.
you need a knockdown 3-point specialist. So
they need Brogdon.
Down.
They need Chris Middleton.
Actually, no. They need a Mirotic or they need a Kyle Korver, for example. You need a volume shooter. But okay, fine, whatever. We won't get into this. So I would hold, and I wouldn't even put Pelinka in because he's sort of like a stooge almost. Magic Johnson calls the shots.
Yeah,
I'll put the blame on him. And even if you want to blame the GM in title, which is Pelinka, well, Magic hired Pelinka. So if Pelinka's doing a bad job, then Johnson's also doing a bad job in picking him to be the GM. So ultimately, the blame lies with Magic, in my opinion, and to an extent, LeBron too, because he also is consulted with these players, these player movements, player signings.
What about Luke Walton?
He gets some blame, but he's probably like fifth or sixth or something. Like you seem to want to always pin it on him. I don't want to.
No. I know because he's the biggest topic because there's news popping out that he's going to get fired at the end of the year.
If he does, he does. I think he will. I think he will. You got to make a change. Well, Magic's not going to get rid of LeBron.
Someone came out with a hot take that AD is coming into the Lakers with Ty Lue.
Okay, I don't want to engage any. There's any.
What do you think? But what do you think? It's possible that Ty Lue is going to be the next coach?
Yeah, it's possible. Sure. I mean, LeBron's comfortable with him. He's won with him. He's a championship coach.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, but I mean, was there a reason? Like, anyone can throw a hot take. Anyone can pick Tatsaloto.
No, that news spurred out once Ty Lue got sacked by the Cavaliers because
that was the start of the season.
Yeah, that was the start of the season. They're saying, LeBron's right positioning to get Ty Lue in to replace Luke Walton as soon as he makes a misstep. And I think he's made, in the media's eyes, it seems like he's made multiple missteps so far.
Well, it wouldn't be the right kind of media. Like, I think Luke Walton, has he been the greatest coach? Maybe not, but I certainly don't think he is fourth or fifth. Like, he wouldn't be the top 5 in terms of who's responsible. Like Magic would be up there, LeBron would be up there, and maybe a couple other guys like Rondo and Ingram before Luke Walton. Like I find him to be viewed as a scapegoat, and I think that's very unfair. Like that's my opinion, the way I see it. Like people just want to sort of pinpoint to one person, and it's generally not only one, but also they want to sort of pick a soft target. Like they don't want to go at LeBron, like especially public figures. Because they feel like LeBron's a much greater figure. When LeBron sort of claps back, like to me it's cowardly. To me it's gutless to go for someone who is an easy target. It's almost bully. Well, in fact, it is bully-like, right? Like you don't want to go for a big target, even if that person is more deserved, because you don't want to go for Magic or LeBron. I'm talking about those in public.
I know what you mean.
And I find that to be very, very gutless to me.
No, I think all three should shoulder the blame. After you brought it up, I think all three should shoulder the blame.
You mean you're talking about a coach, president, as well
GM? I think it's just basically I like to look at it. I think the organization or the franchise has quite rich resources. Unless you don't agree with me that.
Well, there's a salary cap. So in terms of it's not like hey.
They have good pieces. No, I think Kuzma, Ball, Ingram, and Hart with the right oversight could have a way. I think they should make the playoffs at least, right?
Yeah. Look, yeah, you're right that they're
Like
underachieving.
fucking hell! Like what the fuck? You can't even beat the Suns.
Yeah. So if you want to go, let's take Pelinka out because to me he's like a stooge. So it's
But
the
do you
three
agree
thing-
with me?
What?
That they should at least beat the Suns.
Well, to be fair, Milwaukee, the team with the best record, also lost to the Suns too, and the Suns are playing well recently. Have you seen? They're playing well.
Okay, but do you think they should make the playoffs at least? Then?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
So
they
I
should.
agree with you. I think. Don't you think Magic is just like he's trying to do something beyond his capabilities?
Look, I think I might have said this last time. Yeah,
Yeah, you
he's
did.
out of his element.
Like out of his element.
If if you're just going to get a couple of minutes on Magic as just a detour, if you allow me to, I don't know if you remember when after the AD trade didn't happen. Do you remember when I think someone asked him at a press conference to say, "Hey, do you think the Pelicans acted in bad faith?" Do you remember that, or you don't remember?
No, I can't remember what. So what happened? What happened?
So obviously the trade didn't go through, and someone asked him in the aftermath, in hindsight, do you think the Pelicans acted in bad faith or something to that effect? Mm-hmm. And the Magic's response was, yes, they did. Now, even that is true, that means... Why would you say that?
Yeah, because you set it up so they might not trade with you.
Absolutely. Like, that's just idiotic. That's schoolboy stuff. Again, this is idiotic, right? Even if that is true, even if you actually think that, why would you say that in public? Because you have to actually go back and negotiate with them, if you want AD.
Yeah.
Like, don't you think that's stupid? Like, that's boneheaded, right? Yeah. So as a president, these are the things that I can comprehend. Like, I don't know what is happening behind.
Why do you have a plan to get someone else?
Huh?
Why do you have a plan to get someone else to the Lakers?
We'll wait and see. Let's see what he gets, because right now it doesn't look like he's getting anyone other than AD.
We judge that decision come July 1st.
No, hold on. Wait. Don't. You're wrong. Like, even if you want to say he has a plan, why do you close the door to AD, or at least minimize the chances or lower the chances of getting AD when you say dumb stuff like that in public? Don't you think that was dumb for him to say?
Well, yes. What if there were? What if there were?
You're trying to come on, Peter. You're trying to give him a cop out.
No, I'm not. Yeah. But what if they were trying to act in bad faith and he was never planning on to get AD ever?
Even if that was the case, and let's just say that is the case, why would you say that publicly?
Why would you do that? The Pelicans? To make them look like the bad organization, which they are?
Okay, but what's in it for him? He is the president. He is the president of the Lakers. He's acting for himself that he got, he felt like he was schooled or duped. That's him. You got to put that aside. In the best interest of the Los Angeles Lakers, you don't show anything to lower your chances of getting him. Maybe you do get him. Like, anyone would like to have him. You've just lowered your chance of getting him. It certainly doesn't enhance it.
What makes you say that you would get him? Like, I know. No, but what if from that trading experience, he cannot get him?
You still don't. Well, then you
don't burn your bridges. Is that what you're trying to say? You don't burn your bridges.
There's so many other. Like, I can't believe you're actually answering this question back. There's so many things. It's so simple. If nothing else, to make it harder for other teams to want to bid for him, right? If they think the Lakers are in the war, they've got to bid higher, even if you know that you're actually not going to get him. But I don't think that's the case. I think they still want him. So why would you lower your chances? Why would you sort of maybe not burn entirely, but that's just not smart to do. That's just idiotic. That really is. And I mean it. I don't try to be derogatory, but this actually is a boneheaded move. And I like the fact that you're actually, like, you're trying to play the other side just for the sake of doing that, right? Like, there's actually no other side to say this.
I personally wouldn't have burned my bridges, but I think...
But it's just
I wouldn't have said that. No, I'm just wondering.
I'm just not a smart thing to say. Now you're actually try to look for things to try to explain that. And I'm saying there is no explanation for that. Even if that is the truth, you hold it. You don't say that. You're a public figure.
Okay. What would you do? Would you still go back to try to trade for him?
Sure, you do.
After they try fucked you over.
Well, I don't know if they did or didn't. But even if they did, well, I don't know. Why would you think they did? Because I mean,
They tried to make him trade the whole team, and they know that they weren't gonna take anything anyways.
how do you know that?
Didn't they basically try to trade for the whole team?
Well, I don't know if he did that. Like I don't know if it was on air. We said this, that I don't know why you start off so low.
No, but eventually he made it to the point where he was like, take anyone.
But you're sort of insulting, like you're wasting people's time if you just start small.
So you mean even though he was going to offer them the world, they weren't going to take it though?
Why would you? You're wasting. Like, why would you insult their intelligence by doing that, right? And I would say this. You know how most people would say, "Hey, who do you want on the team?" He should have said, obviously knowing that LeBron's not on it, he should have said, "Who do you not want on the team?" Right? You tell me who you don't want, and I'll take him off the table. So, in other words, you implicitly say everyone's on the table. That's what he should have done. Okay, and I mean we're going over old ground, but that's what he should have done. So that's to me a strategic error. Okay,
so instead of offering the specific players, you have said to take anyone except LeBron.
Well, yeah, that's just another way of going about it. But he started off offering only two of the he offering very small, and there was no way that New Orleans would have done that. And maybe in conventional business,
I'm thinking about it. I think what's the best way would have been you can take anyone except LeBron and as many players as you like.
Something like that's I think I would have said that. But at the very least, you go in with a proper offer to get him interested.
But because we don't know the details of the offer.
Well, we sort of.
But do you still think the trade would have gone through if they went like that?
We don't know that, but it certainly wouldn't.
But no, what do you know? I'm asking your personal opinion.
I don't know because I don't know Del James. I don't know that. That's just. It's just. It's silly for me to sort of proffer a guess, but I'm only looking at the strategic moves that he made, and that was not the right move.
Then how do you know he made those offers in that particular order? Is that confirmed?
We're going by reporting, and mostly these reporting are pretty good.
Accurate. Yeah. So, but eventually he did offer the whole team. Then.
Okay, so you've wasted your time. You've wasted the other New Orleans time.
So you mean they just decided not to trade him because they insulted them in the first trade?
That would have been. I'm not saying that. Certainly would have. I'm not even saying if he
did. It is, but you're saying the fact that there's a possibility it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
The fact is, if you knew, like, again, other people aren't dopes. They're there. Maybe they're not the greatest GM, but they know what's going on. Like, even I would say, get out of here if you're only going to offer me like two pieces of the however many.
He offered three.
He initially started with a very lowball offer. And you're just sort of insulting you're wasting their time and you're insulting their intelligence. So that's a terrible move to begin with. Even if you know that you probably don't have a chance, but you just got to get them interested and then talk from there. So maybe the New Orleans said, hey, listen, you waste my time. Well, I'm going to waste your time. You know, that could be. But
yeah, that could be it, actually. Yeah.
Even if that is the case, you don't go out knowing that you want to engage them, even if you feel like you don't, which I don't think is the case, you don't eliminate yourself from the conversation for the other team so they can sort of bid lower, so they get an advantage by trading less pieces to New Orleans to get Davis back, right? So if nothing for signaling, like all of this is a relative game. Like if the other teams, other contenders will have to spend more for Anthony Davis, then you win, even if you don't actually make the trade. It's like all these things that he doesn't seem to understand. Just say quickly, I think he said something about how the guy should get over it, about how the names are being, like all the young players' names are being in the trade talks. He was very dismissive by saying, okay, these guys should get over it. And, maybe Magic Johnson would have gotten over it, or maybe Magic Johnson would have never been offered in the trade anyway. But these guys are young, and you don't just do it in such a tough man, sort of caveman mentality to get over it, because these
poor man management.
Well, that's bad management.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be in public. You shouldn't talk.
With 30 minutes in.
Okay, every time you talk, you sort of shoot your team in the foot. That's why I say he's a bad president. He's a bad.
I agree with you.
So that's
I thoroughly agree with you.
But he takes most of the blame. He takes the bulk of the blame. LeBron also takes. Next, and I would say the coaching staff. Luke Walton's probably third. Yeah, if you're going to go by that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously, poor trades. I don't need to talk about Zubac. I think, like you said,
okay.
they didn't even get the shooters, right? They didn't even get the shooters.
Zubac actually showed some promise. I don't know why he traded him.
Yeah.
okay, that's magic, right? Like
Yeah, you might be right. Like, see, I agree with you. I don't know. This is where you can educate me.
Well, again, I don't know his average wasn't a high, but he showed promise. He had a big man's touch. He had a lot of big man's games.
When LeBron just came back or when he was missing, he was like,
yeah,
he was the player that pushed them over the line.
Well, yeah, I think when in the game that he got injured against the Warriors, he had like a big game, like 18 points on like 6 or 7 shoot on like big, like he had.
They beat the Warriors and he was an important part.
Yeah,
of that team.
He had promise, and like you could make an argument that okay, you can say Ingram and Kuzma have established themselves as second and third, whatever order you want.
Yeah,
I would make the argument that Zubac probably have the fourth most. Obviously, LeBron being number one, have the fourth most value on that team, and yet you traded him away for someone like Muscala. Like what? Like so that I don't know. To me, I need an explanation before I make it. Well, I would like to hear an explanation, but it's probably not going to be forthcoming. So short of that, I just think that's a terrible trade. That's a terrible trade.
I agree with you.
Okay. So
yeah, I guess we've covered all the bases, and let's talk about what do you think the Lakers should do right now? Should they? I mean, like, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. Do you think they should still try, or do you think they should just tank and they should just rest LeBron? Because I'm leaning on. Actually, fine. I haven't my answer.
Yep.
Is I think they should just rest LeBron, play him like how you were planning to play him at the start of the season. Just like how Magic said, 27 minutes. We'll rotate it. We're gonna try to play like nitty gritty defense. Dirty kind of like slow down game, which they planned at the start of the season. That type of gameplay, I think they should, stick to that plan and just do that for the rest of the season and rest LeBron.
But the question is, will LeBron go for it?
I think he will. I think he
cares
will.
about his averages, right?
Yeah.
He cares about his averages. Like right now he's averaging, he looks good, 27, 7 and 7 or something like 8 and 7.
Yeah.
So suppose he goes, say what, 22, 6 and 5. That's not going to reflect well on him. And he can like there were. I don't know if he can look up the Instagram post. I don't know. He probably passed Jordan today, right? Did he pass Jordan?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So I don't know what he wrote, but I remember when he got in the top 10 of assists a couple of weeks ago. He wrote on an Instagram post, there are literally no words to describe this, and he goes on to write 50 words about how he felt about that. I mean, it's he cares all this stuff, which to me, you're so great that you don't need to care about being a top 10.
His legacy is already secured, but he's so insecure.
It seems very insecure, and it's very funny when he actually said there are literally no words to describe this, and he goes on to write 50 words to talk about this. Like
LeBron, right? He's like the corny leader, but he's like the corny leader that says corny leader stuff.
Yeah,
which sometimes sinks really well, but when it goes bad, it goes really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So my point is, I think he likes his numbers. He certainly
numbers.
He likes the numbers, and he doesn't want his averages to be dragged down. Because he's in a tight race with Kevin Durant for the scoring average, like 27.15, 27.16 is like 100th of a point as an average. So he wouldn't want to sort of go anywhere down. Like he would like to finish on, ahead of Kevin Durant. And I'm sure Kevin Durant's at the back of his mind is also looking at that sort of career scoring average as well. So like, I think all these things matters to players. And I just think, if you want to shut him down, if you want to sort of play him only 27 minutes, I don't know if he's going to go for it.
All right.
So
anyway, okay. So what do you think Lakers should do? You haven't answered the question.
It doesn't look like James wants to sort of set it up because he's already taking heat.
No, I'm asking what you think they should do.
They should do. Well, I guess you just play. I really do. I think you play like
you go for it.
It's not that they go for it, but are you saying they should? Look, the smart thing to do is to sit him out mid because you really don't have a chance. But that doesn't mean you should do it. Like sometimes there is some sort of honor. Like you might just play for at least 3 more weeks. And once you're mathematically eliminated, then you can start setting people out, right? Because before being mathematically eliminated, then there is this sort of quitting
Yeah.
thing. And you know, and I know this is not should. This is what like you want them to do or what you would like them to do. But I think you certainly don't want to encourage them to quit or to just tank it in before you're mathematically eliminated.
I structured the question so poorly. How dumb of me.
What?
Sorry. I think it's better if you just give me in like one sentence for each question. What they should, what they will do, and what they should do, and what you want them to do. That's easy.
Yeah, I think
just go one sentence. Just go quick.
I think I answered all three. Like what they will do is, I think they will start to shut LeBron down once they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Okay.
I think people can understand that too.
I agree
what
with you.
they should, I think they should do that too. Like
the same thing. Okay.
I know. In terms of numbers, strictly numbers, you want to increase your chances. You want to sit them, but I'm not for that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
What about? Okay, so what they will, what they should, and what? Okay. I agree with you. So shall we move on to Boston, to the Celtics?
Was there any other components to this, to the Lakers, or are we done on that?
We're done.
Okay, go.
Oh, actually, there is. What do they need to do this offseason in terms of recruitment? But I think we all know, get AD.
Well, yes, but can they get AD? Because right now, I don't think they're in the lead, right? Boston would well, it depends on how, obviously, there's all these dominoes falling with Kyrie.
Yeah,
and all that.
In the next topic, it will link to this topic, which is
right.
great.
So in terms of recruitment, they sort of need a fire to say, you know, they're welcoming sort of all comers in terms of the free agency. But I don't see anyone going there other than AD. I really don't. I don't even see the second tier going.
True.
There's even the second tier ones like Kemba and Jimmy Butler and who else is one of this. I don't think even they are going there. They would help for sure. Yeah, Clay. I would put Clay as a first tier. I have to say, maybe slightly not in the first tier in terms of KD and Kawhi or Kyrie. Or I don't know. I would bracket Clay to be closer to Kyrie than he is to the second tier guy. So I would put Clay.
You never know, man. As well. We'll see what happens. But okay, if not AD,
it's unlikely.
Who you think is gonna go? If not AD,
no one else.
Shit. Okay.
Well, Kemba maybe.
Oh, but that's maybe? Not really like you know what I mean? Like I like Kemba, and I like Kemba.
I don't think Chris Middleton will go. I mean, he's on Milwaukee. He's having fun.
We're talking about players like Chris Middleton. That's so sad.
What you're talking about in terms of the Lakers?
Yeah, that's so sad.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, look, I keep going back. KD's words
definitely have no words. He would definitely have no words after
actually
the next
being
offseason.
A lot truer than people wanted to believe.
True.
Like I said that at the time, right? So yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic. All right.
Yep.
Celtics free fall. I mean, they did beat right after I wrote up this agenda sheet, they went out to destroy the Golden State Warriors. It seems like the Golden State Warriors are their own worst enemy, especially when they put Boogie in the court.
Yeah, so that's that seems to be a concern. Also, Clay wasn't there, so there was no other.
Well. Yes, true.
And Livingston wasn't there.
Yeah,
I think Iguodala played like Kevon Looney. I think might be even perhaps slightly better offensive fit than even Boogie.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot. Durant didn't shoot well, like 5 for 16 or something.
No, I was about to drop a stat that was presented in First Things First, hosted by Nick Carter is it Nick Wright and Chris Carter? I think they're my favorite basketball talk show. So
I think I know why because Nick Wright is a LeBron guy and you like to listen to that.
No, I like
he's in the tank for LeBron.
But I like the stats. Don't you like Nick Wright?
No, you sent me this video and I think he's not wrong, but he's incomplete. And that's perhaps even worse than being wrong because he'll stop when it favors his guy. And he won't go all the way. It's a very incomplete.
Everyone does when they present a case.
Actually, well, that would be very, very manipulative. And Nick Wright is someone
he does it a lot.
He does it a lot. He presents himself very well, but I've seen enough of. I don't see a lot of him, but from what I've seen, he's someone who's in the tank for LeBron. He already says LeBron's the greatest player of all time. He just views his sort of cumulative win shares and. I mean, he's arbitrarily declared that to be the end or be all, which I have a problem with. But
really want to see you debate him because he's like, I like to think he's like a different version of you. But okay.
Yeah. Okay, so my point is, I think you like him because he is a LeBron guy. And I think
I don't really care for his LeBron stances. I just like how he breaks down the other, games. Like it wasn't him, but it was within that show. They talked about how when Boogie's on court with the other four Golden State Warriors team. Oh no, when he's on court, the team is probably one of the worst defensive teams.
Yeah.
And when offensively, they're also one of the poor, because without him, that the Golden State Warriors offensive team are above the historical average of like what an offensive team that's outscore on average every opponent 12 points per every 100 possession or something like that. And I was like, wow. So it kind of highlights how much of a Boogie is to the team.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that. Yeah, look, I haven't.
You haven't heard that?
I haven't heard that. This is the first time I've heard. Good for you.
We got good stuff. You have like that DHL pick for like Belgium.
Okay. Yeah, I know you get caught up in it. I don't. I mean, it's sort of like a by the by thing, and good. When I'll compliment it when I hear it. Very rarely, but I'll compliment it nevertheless. Yeah, look, with Boogie, from what I've seen, his shot's not falling, and he's a liability defensively, and he's prone to fouls. So. Yeah. And it's not I don't know. Have you heard the news that the Warriors are going to sign Andrew Bogut? Okay, yeah. Why do you think that is? Because they need a big body. Well, I don't think they're going to drop him, but they have concerns of him playing in the postseason as a defender.
They're not going to keep him.
Well, they'll keep. No, obviously they can't keep him anyway. But my point is, they're not going to drop him.
No, they could keep him if they get rid of Draymond.
No, they would never do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, they won't.
I will tell you this. I think I had concerns about this even from the beginning. I don't think I voiced it here. I don't think it's a good fit. Not even a great fit. I don't think it's a good fit. Now, can he help? Perhaps in terms of match, he's not going to start. He'll start probably, but he's not going to close. Iguodala is a much better fit as the fifth guy, other than the four All-Stars, than Boogie. And I will say that right now, if Boogie doesn't clear up his defensive issues as well his fouling propensity to foul, you'll see more Bogut. You might even see Bogut, playing more playing time against the big bodies because, look, Boogie's only going to be there for matchups like big bodies like Gobert in the playoffs or Nurkic. I wouldn't even put Jokic because Jokic is too mobile for Boogie. When it gets to the East, and Steven Adams and OKC, other than those three big bodies in the playoffs,
there's no point.
There's no point in him playing at the end of games. Like they'll probably still use him at other parts of the game. In the East, against Embiid or against Marc Gasol, these are the two that I can see him just as a big body to match up with.
Okay.
Now, if he's not effective, I think they'll rather play Bogut because he's at least defensively sound, and then you don't really need Cousins more for offense as so much as just more of a big body to guard against the opposing big man. So that's why I'll say they'll rather have Bogut there to bang against the big man because Green, as good as he is, he's not as big, and he just can't bang for entire series like because he's just smaller than say if he's got to bang against. He's got to bang against Nurkic, for example, or Steven Adams. He's going to take a whacking. Even if they win, he's going to be sore for the next series, right? So you need a big body to sort of just fouls and to be a big body to bang against. So, and Cousins seems to be a liability on that end.
Yep. All right. Shall we talk about
go
Boston?
Back to the Celtics. Yeah, Celtics. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, So like, besides that Golden State Warriors spanking, they've been essentially in a free fall.
Yeah. They won. Was it yesterday or today?
No, today.
Kyrie sitting, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I was want to talk about. We definitely talked about what went wrong the last episode. So I want to ask: is it because they're performing better? Is it because of Gordon Hayward's slight performance improvement. Not slight, his performance improvement. I just don't want to give like a high magnitude because it might just be, just like, him picking a bit more confidence up. But yeah,
Why would you say his name? Why would you say his name first up? And why would you say why would you only name him? Because again, this is what I feel. A lot of people in the media, they view Gordon Hayward as someone who they can sort of...
A lovely guy.
It's not someone who can pick on, but someone who's not going to take offense to it. Whereas if they criticize Kyrie or Tatum or Brown or other people, maybe they'll take offense. And I just don't like that. Call it what it is. Did Gordon Hayward not perform? Like, he's coming back from injury, so he has an excuse. But that still can be an explanation. Hasn't fitted in. He did. I think he made a game winner today. He shot
a game winner
really well the other day. But okay, these are the two. So he hasn't really been a great sort of addition necessarily, right, for this season as opposed to last season. Yeah. But he's not the main reason. I mean,
yeah, of course. No. I'm saying, is he one of the main reasons that they're performing better?
But I don't know why we need to start with him. I mean, let's start with Kyrie first. He's the best player, and I know he looks good in highlights. But in terms of as sort of the leader, he's woeful. And we have to look at the coach because we're going to praise him for all the sort of good things that he's done. Well, his guys have got to take in some criticism when they're not.
You can't handle a star like Kyrie.
That could be. And we also have to look at Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Horford and other players like Rozier.
Okay. Horford's been doing all right. He's been
slow start. No, he's slow start, but you're right. He has sort of come around. But Tatum still hasn't been sort of taken that next step that the way that our boy Donnovan Mitchell, who both second-year players, Donnovan Mitchell has come on strong the second part of this season.
Jayson Tatum had a good game against Sacramento.
Okay, one good game, but he's still like, if you look at Mitchell,
that important block against the Warriors.
Oh, I don't know if it was an important block. I mean, they were up by like 20 points, and Kevin Durant, like the pass to Durant, he sort of didn't handle the ball cleanly. But whatever, even if it was, you can't. Would you agree that Mitchell is having a better second season than Tatum?
I'll look at the stats.
Well, I can tell you that Mitchell, the fact that he's carrying a team, and they've come back to, where are they now? Are they the sixth spot? They're 10 games over 500. They're solidly in the playoffs, and he's the best, but he's got to carry them. Okay, Tatum doesn't have to carry them. Now, is some of it due to Kyrie's bad leadership? Yeah, but sometimes you've got to take pride in your own sort of play, and he hasn't done that. So maybe third is on him, and I'll put Jaylen Brown and a couple other guys before I get to Gordon Hayward. And by the way, Gordon Hayward has an excuse. What is Tatum's excuse? What is Kyrie's excuse? So that's my...
So 24 points per game. Ooh. 4 rebounds. Obviously, your boy, Donnovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
The Spider.
Yeah, well, look. Okay, he probably has a worse shooting percentage, but you know what? That's okay, because just like James Harden, he's the leader. He's got to take all the shots, and his team is overachieving. Given the talent they have, he's the best player. He's won, like Utah has won 37, Boston's won 40. Okay, Boston's won more, but given what Boston has to work with, Boston's certainly underachieved. And Utah, I would say, has, if not overachieved, but certainly back where they're supposed to be.
16.3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Shooting at 37% for 3.
3, yeah.
Oh, the 2 points is bad. The field goal average 49. Yeah, that's bad.
Well, you got to look at the effective. But okay, whatever. But the point is, I think
free throw
Donnovan
quite high.
Mitchell, like last year, I would say that Tatum probably had a better rookie season. But certainly this year, it's no debate that Mitchell is having a better sophomore season, right?
Yeah. But sometimes the team is built for him to perform like that.
No, I've already taken that. I understand what you're saying, yeah, because
still, I think Mitchell is performing better.
Yeah.
If you take that into account, I agree.
Yeah. So.
But now back to Kyrie. So, is he gonna leave next year?
I think so. I think given the way, like they won again. I think. Did they what's the? I think I heard maybe it's not the complete record, but maybe they've won the last 7 games with Curry out. Now, it depends on the opponent. Maybe Curry, they choose to sit Curry out, against Sacramento versus the Golden State Warriors. So he plays the harder games, and maybe he's sitting on, against the weaker teams. Maybe, but still, it's undeniable.
When you gave me that stat that they won 7 games without Kyrie, I don't know how accurate it is, but I know you're basically putting on the point that they're already experimenting for life without Kyrie, and knowing Danny Ainge, that guy is he's ruthless, he's cutthroat.
Yeah, I would say that the only way that I see Kyrie staying is because of Danny Ainge. Because Danny Ainge, I think, is the best GM. I think it's the best GM in the league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like IT trade, oh my days.
Yeah, and he seems to have a pretty solid relationship with Kyrie.
He's a motherfucker.
If he who you talking about? Danny Ainge. In a good way, right?
I mean, like, you want him for your team, but it's like you don't really want to do the dirty work, but he can do the dirty work for you.
Okay, but you mean in a positive way, right?
For an organization, yes. For in terms of human emotions, no. But yes, continue.
Okay, but yes, that's like Bill Belichick. I mean, you don't criticize him, but you praise him for it, right? If somehow emotions get in the way, then you would actually criticize him for it, right? No? This is professional sports.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, you still have to voice out what the dirty side of it. No, I mean, it's obviously in sport wise.
No, hold on. Yeah. It's not dirty. Wait. It's not dirty.
It's not dirty. It's not dirty. But like,
it's ruthless.
It's ruthless. Yeah, it's cutthroat.
Okay,
he's
maybe
a motherfucker. So. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, continue.
Fine, but I would say that this is professional sports.
Yeah.
And you are getting compensated. If you get your feelings hurt, like Isaiah Thomas may have been. You're getting
I don't like maybe Thomas, but like
right. So, but my point is, you're getting compensated quite well for whatever hurt feelings, and if you don't want those hurt feelings, don't get into that business, right? Don't get into it. Find another line of work. That's what I'll say. And it's not like he lied behind someone's back. He may have used someone to get like leverage or whatever, perhaps. But like, it's one thing if you actually sort of unethically act, you gave someone's word and you went back on it or whatever. I don't think that's the case, but okay, fine. So you're asking Harry, he, there is a chance, but I think it's not a high chance because I think people can see that. And there was so I skimmed through there was Houston play Boston. Do you remember that was over the weekend, I think, or was it?
Houston played Boston. Yep.
Right. And, Houston had a big lead and Boston made a comeback. It was like 30-point lead almost, and Boston cut it down to like single digits, right? Oh, they actually showed that. They actually showed the story of the game in your highlight package in House of Highlights, huh? I see. In any case, I don't know if you noticed, but I certainly did when Boston made a big run.
Let's make clear, you're not a fan of House of Highlights.
I just never been there. I don't watch highlights.
Go on it. It's pretty cool. It's cool.
No, I won't.
Send you fun. Okay.
No, I won't go down there because it's a waste of time.
Harry's a bit of a hater.
No. Hold on. It's just a waste of time for me because you don't get I didn't coin this. No, in fact, I didn't. He's
a content snob.
I didn't know. In fact, I want context.
Connoisseur.
No. I want context. I would rather not understand something than to misunderstand something, and that goes with everything. I would rather be not understood.
That's a very good quote. That's a very good quote.
Okay, so do you understand? Like even me as a person, I would rather someone not understand me than to misunderstand me. You got 5 more minutes
left.
Okay, so I think a lot of these House of Highlights or just highlights in general, it doesn't have to be House of Highlights, but it could be just a highlight package, extended highlights. You tend to but people tend to misunderstand something or not get the full picture. And to me, I'd rather not see it and not utilize my time and to be in the dark about something than to misunderstand or potentially misunderstand something.
Full stop that because you're going to go on for longer.
Okay. So that's right. So
okay.
The point I'm making is
back to Kyrie.
They made a run. It wasn't lost on me when Boston made a spiritual run and they just played with more energy and more passion with Kyrie on the bench. Now they ended up not winning the game because I think Harden did like really good things. But like it was just evident to me that they just, they were like 10% better in terms of just their body language. They were more on the same sort of plane. They were just the players wanted each other to do well. There was more chemistry as well with Curry off the court than on it. But it's a bit of a dilemma because Curry obviously is the best player. It is the closer.
Yes,
he's by far the best player in the playoffs. He'll make a game-winning shot here or there. So So I don't know what's going to happen.
This goes to the final question.
Yeah.
Should the Celtics even try to re-sign him next year, or are there other talents out there? Let me rephrase the question. If you were in Danny Ainge's shoes right now, and you're planning for the offseason, what's going through your mind right now? Are you going to try to re-sign Kyrie, or are you going to try to trade him for someone else?
Well, you can't trade because he's a free agent.
Oh, not trade him. Or are you going to try to go for someone else?
That's a very
short, concise
question. And I'm not saying that to pause. A lot of people say that's a good question just so they can pause, right? So they can contemplate.
Yeah. You can contemplate because I want a good answer. I want one of your good answers. So come on.
I can't. I don't think if I can give you one for this reason. Your question was if I was in Danny Ainge's shoes. Well, I'm not in Danny Ainge's shoes, and I mean it in this way. I'm not in the locker room, or I don't have information that he has to act on.
Okay, understood. Understood.
Because he'll be able to have more information on what
chemistry
it's really like in the locker room and stuff, right?
Okay. So
that's what I can tell you. That's the end. That's the best answer I can
GM
give
cap on Harry Hong. What do you think what would you do?
As a GM, but I don't have enough information to act on. Like as a GM,
just humor me.
Why don't you humor me? What do you think?
I think it's quite evident that he doesn't get along with a lot of the players there. I wouldn't re-sign him. I'll go for someone else. I'll go for AD. Like you said, AD, it seems like closer to Celtics now after all the recent weeks. I'll go for AD.
Okay, but wait. It's not as simple as that because you can't go for AD so much as you can't sign him. You have to trade for him. So
you have to trade for him. Yeah.
Okay, now
I'll give them
Tatum. Because here's the thing: would AD go there if Kyrie's not there? And maybe he has no choice. But would he sign a long-term extension? Because he's obviously contracted for one more year after this season. Will he?
I'll try. Okay, I would sign AD.
It's tricky. There's all these dominoes.
All right, to make it obviously to provide that means after you provided me all these situations, obviously to provide a clearer answer, I think I would try to get him if I get to keep Tatum. If I get to keep Tatum, and if I don't care if I don't have to sign.
Okay, but that's a cop-out because I don't know how you're going to get AD without giving up Tatum. I don't think Jalen will do that. Jaylen Brown, it's doubtful given that Jaylen Brown has underperformed.
Jaylen Smart.
Like if you're
Smart, Rozier.
Let me ask you. Hold on, wait. If you're New Orleans, will you take that trade?
No, I would take if you give me four, you give me Brown, Rozier, the better Morris twin.
Well, there's only one. Like they only have the one more or one. They don't have two.
Oh, did they get rid of the other one?
It was never on it. They never had both set of twins on the team.
Okay, they get rid of the Morris guy. They get rid of Smart. They get rid of Brown. They get rid of Rozier. That's 4. And you give them the picks that you have.
Okay, I don't know what the picks are, but okay, let's just go with that. I don't know why they would do that because it's not like a tug of war where the more people you have on your side, the better. You can only play 5 on a court, right? So depends on who they have already. Maybe it's a duplicate. Like you need top tier talent, and there's no sure thing with the pick with the draft pick.
Celtics have 3 picks in 2019, and they have 4 picks. They can give up all 4 picks.
But are they low or high?
Give 2019 one in the top 8. One fall outside of the top 8. One falls outside of the top 14. One of their own pick. Sacramento Kings top one protected pick. Then they could give their 2020 pick.
Okay,
so they have picks to give. They have
picks to give. But picks are still not a sure thing. Tatum seems to be okay, you can say he's sort of regressed, but he's
We're
still
past 1 hour, so
he's
if you don't
still
answer that question, we might as well just cut short this topic and just.
okay. Good. It shouldn't be a magic. I mean, if we go a couple of minutes, that's fine.
No, but I have to go. I have to
Okay.
eat dinner.
Okay, fine. So, well, if you ask the question, let me answer it. So I will say, without Tatum, I think it's hard. Like, I just don't think New Orleans would want to do it unless you offer a lot of picks. But Danny Ainge is no dummy. He's not going to just give a boatload.
Okay,
of picks
if you're
away.
GM, would you resign Kyrie then?
I'll have to see the season play out.
All right, cool. You were never
I'm
going to answer
serious.
the question anyways. Thanks for wasting time.
Don't do that.
All right.
Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not wasting time. I'm trying to give you a considered answer. I might not give you the answer that you're looking for, like a final answer, but because I'm telling you that sometimes you don't always. Well, why don't you? Have you given me an answer?
I just gave you an answer and you gave me all those questions. I say, well,
what was your answer?
That's very good. That's very good. That means
but so you have to. My point is, you need all this. You don't just do it in a vacuum.
Tried. Yeah, no, but it's good because I tried. I attempted to, and you challenged me, and I tried to take on those challenges. You get me?
Right. But there's still a lot of ifs and. No, I'm not saying it's your fault, but because right now
that's tinfoil. This is a tin hat. The tinfoil hat is for fun. Why do we make predictions? Why do you make predictions? Come on.
Yeah, but you make predictions. No, hold on. You make predictions based, and you have to give. Not you have to, but you give a reason for it, right?
Yeah,
hey, so Peter,
and I did. You helped me with the reasoning part by giving me those conditions, and I did.
Just to finish the episode.
Holy shit,
Peter! Why don't you pick some lotto numbers for us? Just to pick. Just pick.
No,
it's not different.
That's different.
No, it's not different. Okay, it is a bit different, but just pick.
Thanks.
We want to pick. We want picks.
Right, I'll give you a lottery number. I'll give you. Okay, so
quick. Don't you have dinner?
50490 for the 5
I don't even know what that means. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, I don't know how that works, but okay.
Yeah, see, like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was quite good that we worked through the possible trade scenarios. But if you don't think so, next time tell me. Then
No, I think it was. But I'm saying sometimes I can't give you a final answer.
Yeah, okay,
sometimes I can't give you a final answer.
Then it's fine. When you said you wanted to give me an answer, you didn't give me an answer. You gave me the same answer you gave at the start before I gave my answer. You get me?
Okay, fine.
You get it?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Don't you think that's a waste of time? Because you gave your answer already. Then I gave my answer, and then you gave the same exact answer.
Well, I'm working through it now. Anyway, do you have any predictions for the weekend or anything else, or do you just need to go?
No, I just want to talk about. I just want to take this time to congratulate Roger Federer for winning his 180th and single title.
Right.
And that's it. You have nothing to say? Or you want to say? Let's go with the question that I prepared.
What was your question?
Who's gonna finish with more? Do you think anyone in this generation, as in like the current crop of his era, is gonna beat him in terms of total titles? Mm-hmm. And do you think anyone's gonna beat his total slam record? Any male, just to be more exact.
Right.
Just go quick. Just go quick, and not like we're gonna go like 7 more minutes.
So Federer is on 20 Grand Slams, Nadal's on 17, Djokovic is on 14.
Yes.
I think Djokovic has a good chance, has more than 50-50 chance.
I agree.
I think Nadal has probably
Djokovic has 15. Have 15.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. He's got the Australian Open, so he's only 2 behind Nadal now. But although five is still a lot.
Something could happen, right? Like the paradigm could shift, and like these new crowd players could be really.
Yeah. That's right. And so 5 is a lot. I think people think it's inert, but it's not.
Djokovic could go on and win 4, like 3. And complete, the whole set.
So I still think Djokovic. Maybe I'll give it 60%. I give Nadal 45%. So that's for Grand Slams. In terms of titles, do you have to Federer's on 100? I think Nadal's on 70.
80.
Djokovic is on 80. Djokovic is on 73. I want to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think Nadal will creep up with the clay titles.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll probably win 3 or 4 this year. Djokovic, I think it's going to be really close. I'll give Djokovic 55%.
Okay.
And that's not to say Federer's going to stop right now, although, okay, did you know? 100 is not a record, right?
I know. There's more. There's some guy with 107. Is it 108?
No.
120.
Don't do that. It's not some guy. Jimmy Connors. Okay, he's one of the all-time greats.
I don't know, but
okay, that's on you. So
yeah,
so
that's on me. That's me. So you don't have to say don't do that. Just say.
Well, no, actually, I will do that. Yeah, I will do that.
Didn't know is Jimmy Connors. Know your tennis. Then I'll be like, you're right. I should know
some guy
like education.
Okay, so Jimmy Connors has 109 titles. I think it's a 40% chance that he won't make it. Oh, hold on. No, there's a 40% chance that he will break it. So that means I think he's not going to make 109.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I'll say that. Okay, my answers to the questions is to close everything out. I don't think he will. I don't think Federer will beat Jimmy Connors' title thing unless he starts going for the 250-point tournaments and shit. I think Grand Slam. I think Djokovic is going to surpass him, and I think Djokovic is going to surpass the titles. Rafael Nadal, I don't think so, because I really think his body is going to break down completely by the end of this year. That's what I think. I hope not. I actually
you're probably saying this 10 years ago. People were saying this 10 years ago. He's going to play strategically,
but by the time it stays undefeated, and you think he can keep beating his injuries forever if it's the same injuries? I don't know. That's my thing.
You recuperate.
You can have the last say, and let's close it out.
Well, I will say this. I don't know why. Like, I think I might have said this. You might think it's facetious. This is round number bias. Like, triple doubles is a round number bias. If you get the 10th assist, does something special happen? Do you get 3 extra points or 2 extra points? No. The difference between 10 and 9 is the same as the difference between 9 and 8, right? So Roger Federer has just won one extra title. That doesn't make it any better. It's just a milestone, fine, because it's 3 digits instead of 2. And if he were to break Jimmy Connors' record, does that obviously give him a feather in the cap? I don't think so, because you just proved my point, which is to say the leader in careers titles still is some guy to you. So, like, no one, you certainly didn't know about that. So that doesn't help or hurt really at all.
I think if you want to go like using the clear and obvious thing from the previous episode, it seems like in a lot of people's minds, it's clear and obvious that Federer is the greatest of all time, I think.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Why is it clear and obvious?
Because he's probably on the list 9 times out of 10.
This is a popularity contest.
It's a popularity contest.
Then
how's it clear and obvious that who's the greatest of all time then?
No, I'm not saying anyone is clear and obvious, but I think what you're going by, this is where you go wrong sometimes. A lot of times, you go by how people react on the unfiltered and perhaps a lot of the unwashed world, of Twitter and Instagram and
no, not Twitter. I mean, like all these sport articles by sport writers.
Okay, they would also be wrong in this sense that if you're just going by the headline figure, which we don't always do, we sometimes do. It's lazy, but we sometimes do that. We might say, okay, Federer is the greatest. And by the way, I will say this: I think I don't know if you noticed this. There's a trend in the last few years. The word literally is overused, right? Like people want to use that to emphasize something, and they say, "Oh, literally."
Finish this. I'm going to challenge you, Harry. Finish this in one sentence.
Okay. Well, challenge me in what sense?
Conclude your answer.
Okay. So the word literally has been greatly overused. Like literally actually means it's a literal, not the metaphorical meaning, but the literal meaning. But they use
third sentence.
Hold on, wait. Well, the word GOAT is also being overused. The GOAT is the greatest of all time. It's not an all-time great.
Yeah, it's of all time.
Huh?
It's of any era.
Right. So you sort of self-declared that person as the greatest, not just of this era, but the greatest of all time. And
no, I said a lot of people think he is.
No, hold on. By definition, you can't have more than one GOAT, right?
I think it's clear. Right. I think it's clear. Like people, it seems like based on all the writings and all the sport writers and the general consensus between the tennis world, Roger Federer is the greatest of all time.
No. I think lately, because Federer got there first, and he was miles ahead of Nadal and Djokovic, and because of style of play, because of his all sort of genial nature, which is all deserved, I think people have sort of said that, oh, they're great. And people do overreact to that too. But I think the last 2 or 3 years, Nadal has challenged that, and more so with Djokovic. Djokovic has really challenged that. Even the best tennis writers have said the GOAT debate, the GOAT conversation is up for debate every time that Nadal wins, and now every time that Djokovic wins. So I think maybe 5 years ago, Roger sort of, when he passed Sampras, you could say, okay, the GOAT, which I still think is overused. But the last 2-3 years, no, I think it's open up for discussion. So okay. I would sort of rebut your thing. But what did you? Okay, so what did you want to challenge, or did you?
No, that's it. Is that it?
Oh, you didn't want to challenge?
No, I don't want to challenge. I'm just putting a point. I just want you to end it so I can go eat.
Okay, do that. Well, okay, yeah, sure. Go. What's for dinner?
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Okay, fine.
All right. Bye.